y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Misty, and of course the channel's name is Speculative Magpie. And we are here to do a book review today. Welcome back on this cloudy, overcast day where we can talk about some spooky books. And I read a really good one this time. I read The Red Tree by Caitlin R. Kiernan. Now, I have heard the author prefers for this to be referred to as dark fantasy or that kind of thing, dark fantasy fiction. I heard that from Jason Weird Reads when he talked about her when he was doing his weird fiction recommendation videos recently. This is actually the first book of hers that I have read. I have a couple of her books over there. I have one collection of short stories. I have a series where the main character is like a angel kind of thing. I believe it's called Threshold. And then I have another book over there called Silk. I just haven't really read her yet. And this was the first one that I picked up. So let's read the back and then we're going to talk about it. Okay, guys? All right. So, Sarah Crow left Atlanta and the remnants of a tumultuous relationship to live alone in an old house in rural Rhode Island. Within its walls, she discovered an unfinished manuscript written by the house's former resident, a parapsychologist obsessed with the ancient oak growing in a desolate corner of the property. Tied to local legends of supernatural magic as well as documented accidents and murders, the gnarled tree takes root in Sarah's imagination, prompting her to write her own account of its unsavory history. And as the oak continues to possess her dreams and almost all of her waking thoughts, Sarah risks her health and her sanity to unearth a revelation planted centuries ago. This book, dude, I say this all the time, but it's true. This book was so good, y'all. This was a fantastic book. I haven't read anything like this, and if I had, it's been such a long time ago that I haven't noticed. All right, I don't want to discourage you from reading this, but this book kind of makes me feel like I'm not quite smart enough to read this book. This book is one of those books that requires you to sit down, concentrate, and pay attention. And I loved it. This book, from page 1, was just unsettling. And while nothing was particularly horrific, just the atmosphere and the word usage and the imageries that she wrote about in here was disquieting. You didn't get a break from the otherness of this book in any page. And I loved it. I seriously loved it. Some of the quotes in here from like Poppy Z. Bright. I know you really can't put stock in what other authors, because most of the time they're paid to say something nice. But dude, Poppy Z. Bright, Caitlin R. Kiernan writes like a Gothic cathedral on fire. Peter Straub, Caitlin R. Kiernan draws her strength from the most honorable of sources, a passion for the act of writing. And then Neil Gaiman, Caitlin R. Kiernan is the poet and bard of the wasted and the lost. That just sums up this book. When you meet Sarah Crow, she is going through so much right now. She's out of a relationship that probably wasn't the healthiest for her or her partner. Both of them could be considered kind of toxic for each other. But that was, part of it. Sarah Crow's an older author. Her lover she was considerably younger. Sarah's borderline alcoholic, suffers from epilepsy, not very good at taking care of her health or taking her medication when she should. And she just basically leaves town, moves to Rhode Island. Moving out into the middle of nowhere when you're going through that much trauma probably was not the best idea. This is watching a woman's slow descent into self-destructive madness. And it was beautifully, horrifically done. This is one of those books where you feel like not much happens, but everything happens. And just the descriptions. She's describing the house. She describes the basement that Sarah goes down into. She describes the attic. She describes the tree. And just the tree's only like maybe 200-300 feet from her house. And you feel like you're walking through this jungle, this overhang. And it's so smartly written and so well done. It's like, I'm going to have to read this book again because I know I missed stuff in here. I want to talk about so much more my theories on this book. What I think happened is like, but I can't because I don't want to spoil it for you. If you like weird fiction, if you can sit down and give a book your full attention, this book is fantastic. It's wonderful. I'm definitely looking forward to reading so much more of her. I mean, I have those books over there that I need to read from her. It's so good, y'all. Definitely she has an amazing voice. And yeah, I would consider this dark fantasy. I mean, if that's what the author wants to call it. Definitely has a weird horror vibe to it, but it's just fantastic. And it left me unsettled for a while. I mean, I actually had to put this book down, read some fluff, and then go back to it, simply because I had to digest a lot of what was going on in here and let my own thoughts and feelings about this book, germinate for a while. So I mean, I'm trying not to give like stars out anymore except for on Goodreads, but I highly recommend this book. This book is definitely worth picking out. I think I definitely want to read more of her simply because of how good this book is. If you've read it before and you want to talk about it, shoot me an email. I would love to talk to somebody about this book, especially since I've read it so recently, and a lot of stuff went on here. So thank you for coming back to my channel where we can talk about some books and things, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.